Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Sunday. It's Daryl here. It is bright and freaking early, man. It's not even, I'm usually out here at 3 a.m. It's 2:20 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. This is exactly why I do these videos. One of the reasons I do these videos so early in the morning is I catch the new news cycles. There was a very big story yesterday in Pennsylvania. And I know it happened Sunday afternoon or later Sunday afternoon. And if you look at all the stories, I got links down below. The news stories are all just coming out in the last like 2 hours. So from what I see, this story really blew up in the last 2 or 3 hours since midnight Sunday morning. Okay, in case you haven't heard, there was an attempt on Donald Trump's life yesterday. And I have some serious questions about this. Let me go over my thinking as I came across. I couldn't miss this story this morning. So supposedly there was a sniper up on a roof at the Trump rally yesterday in Pennsylvania. Now there's stories from actual Trump supporters saying that they were trying to tell the police that there was somebody up on the roof with a rifle. They were trying to warn him, and that the Secret Service snipers just waited and waited until the shots actually were fired. Donald Trump was hit, supposedly, in the ear. And one person in the stand, one person was hit and also lost their life. So the picture's coming out. Okay, so I got a video. I got the video of the whole thing. I'll put it right on top, so you could actually watch the whole video as it happens. It'll be right on top. I think it's Politico. He's talking about immigration, and you hear a series of shots ring out, and he goes for supposedly he got hit in the ear, and Secret Service goes all over him. Within a few minutes, not even, they start moving him to make it to the threat is secured. And there's these photos that are coming out now with Trump with blood coming down his face and the American flag behind him, and he's pumping his fist in the air. You would going like, fight, fight, fight. They got pictures of him like with the F, fight. And people are already calling these some of the most iconic pictures ever in American history and in American politics. He's all but sealed the deal in all 50 states. And I'm just like, oh my God, you got to be freaking kidding me. How much worse can this get? After the Biden debate situation and George Clooney and now this, being a Biden supporter, I'm just like, oh my God, you got to be freaking kidding me. I don't find anything, being a Democrat and liberal, I don't find any joy in this. I don't want to see this happen to anybody. I don't want to see this happen to Donald Trump. I can't stand the man, but I do not want to see this happen to him. But as I started going through more stories, PolitiZoom down below, there's going to be a link. And they seriously question if this was real. And there's a lot of people, there's going to be a lot of links down below from X. And these people brought up some very good points. There's the biggest question I have. I actually, in 1984, September 14th, 1984, I was present for Ronald Reagan on the Waterbury, Connecticut Green. There was an attempted assassination of Reagan back in 1981. In September 14th, 1984, 3 years later, he was running for re-election. And my friend lived on the green in Waterbury in a building called the Elton Hotel on the 4th floor. And Reagan was going to speak right smack in front of this hotel, the podium. And I remember specifically, we had to leave the hotel. Everybody had to leave their home. The Secret Service came in and removed people from their actual homes. And said, we don't care where you go, but you can't stay here. So I swear to God. And I remember, before we left, I remember seeing all the tallest buildings, the banks and everything all around the green, seeing Secret Service and snipers up on the roofs with huge binoculars. I still remember this because I could see the huge binoculars, and they were looking up at the sky. They were looking everywhere. And I thought about the security in that incident. I saw that with my own eyes. They secured every building in that whole entire perimeter. Nobody was even allowed to stay in the buildings. Nobody was allowed to stay anywhere, but they had metal detectors on the green, you know. And so I think about this. So how did this guy get on the roof? How was he not spotted? You're telling me that this guy could climb up on a roof and stay there, and supposedly Trump supporters are pointing him out, and supposedly the Secret Service actually sees him, they have eyes on him, and they wait until the shots are fired. So I'm not a big conspiracy theory guy, but I started, think about this. What does Trump want most in the world? What does he value most in the world? He values ratings above anything else. This is going to get the biggest ratings ever. This is going to give Donald Trump the one thing that he loves more than anything: ratings and adulation. All right? But then there's more. What does Donald Trump want? More than becoming president. He wants to be president for life. He wants to be the king of America, him and his family. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Trump and Trump supporters, they want him to stay in office. They worship that man. They don't want him in just for 4 years. They've said it before. More than 4 years, more than 8 years. They want him permanently. So what would do that? What would do that? If he were to protect people from a threat like this, when this happens, people are going to say, look at what's going on in this country. We're all in danger. Who could save us? Not Superman, Donald Trump. And then I started looking at this. And what are the chances? There's links down below where people question this, people that actually have firearm experience. And they're like, the chances of him just, look at my ear and look how much it sticks out. What are the chances that it would just graze the ear? And then more than that, what are the chances? You hear about 7 or 8 shots supposedly. Only one person in the back gets hit. Because I'm watching this, and the guy must be shooting down. And and that's a whole other thing. If he's shooting down, Trump only gets hit in the ear. And only one person, there's nothing but people all behind Trump, like the people backstop. And only one person gets hit? How is that possible? Where did the other bullets go? And I got another question. So the Secret Service, they waited until the shots are fired, like they knew the shots were coming. How could they possibly allow him for these iconic pictures? You actually see him standing up on stage, making himself a target again, pumping his fist in the air. Fight, fight. The iconic photo, the iconic photo moment, the iconic photo opportunity. Why would Secret Service? They have it's their say in this situation. They could take him and shove his head down, but they don't. They let him. There could easily be another perpetrator. A lot of times there is more than one, but yet they allow him to put his big pumpkin head right back up again. And not only that, but he's to snap these iconic photos, all these iconic photos with the supposed blood dripping down, and pumping his fist in the air, fight. And that's another thing. I have a hard time believing that this 70-year-old man gets shot in the ear, and then he's ready to run back and fight. Blood coming down his face. He's the toughest SOB of all. I'm a tough guy, but I'm wondering if I would even do that. You're in shock, man. You just got shot. You're really is that the first thing you're gonna think of? I would think of my family. I would think of my family probably first. And my health and getting out of there. I got some big questions, and the number one question is, how is this a guy allowed to get up there? Because like I said, I was present in 1984 at a Reagan rally, and I saw, this is 30 years ago, and I saw the security they had then. They wouldn't even allow us to stay in a building, to stay in our homes, let alone get on top of a building. And I remember seeing the security on top of all the buildings with their binoculars and their rifles. So how was this guy allowed to get up there? And how was he allowed to pull off these shots? How come only one person in this whole backdrop of solid wall-to-wall people with all these shots fired, only one person, a sacrificial lamb, was taken out? How was he only struck? How was he only slightly grazed by a bullet? Boy, the gods were just shining on him, and he is just a superhero pumping. It's a bit much. It really is a bit much. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I don't quite believe it did. Let me know what you think. Have a good Sunday.